Once you start researching your ancestors, you'll begin to collect paperwork, and while it's at a manageable level, you need to decide what to do with it all and how you're going to keep it. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the main ways you can store your family history information, along with the pros and cons of each, so you can decide which option works best for you. Just so you know where I'm coming from, I currently keep my family tree and some, but definitely not all, of my evidence documents on Ancestry. Ancestry is one of the big named web-based platforms. So although I now use Ancestry, I didn't start there. When I started, I used a PC-based software called Family Tree Maker, which is still available today. I didn't choose it for any particular reason that I can remember, it was just what I picked at the time. But the big advantage, which I probably didn't fully appreciate then, was that it was linked directly with Ancestry, which is where I ended up doing a lot of my research and still do today. So now, let's talk about your options. There are three main ways to store your family history information. Number one, a paper-based system. Number two, a PC-based software package. Or number three, a web-based online platform. Let's go through each one, starting with the paper-based approach. First up, don't underestimate paper. One of the biggest advantages is longevity. A piece of paper will still be readable 100 years from now. We've all seen what's happened to older storage formats like floppy disks, microfiche and even CDs. Many of them are already difficult, if not virtually impossible to access. Paper, on the other hand, doesn't require passwords, subscriptions, internet access, or the worry that a file format might one day become unsupported. Paper is also relatively cheap, at least at first. The cost only starts to build when you begin printing large quantities of documents and start burning through printer ink. The other advantage is that paper records are easy for future generations to access. Anyone can open a folder and read inside without needing to log into anything. However, paper only works well if you stay organised. As your research grows, it's easy for things to get messy. Documents can get duplicated, misfiled or lost. If you enjoy structure and filing systems, paper can be a brilliant solution. But if you're not naturally organised, paper can quickly turn into chaos. That said, there's nothing stopping you from starting with paper and later moving your research into a PC-based package or a web-based online system. If you want to go down the paper route, you'll need a really good filing system. A simple approach is to use lever arch files. I suggest starting with two, one each for your paternal and maternal sides. It might be an idea to have a different colour for each, just to make it a little easier. You'll also want plastic wallets to protect your documents. If you're storing anything fragile or valuable, acid-free wallets are worth using. Oh, and just a word of caution, make sure to keep matches and your dog far away from your paper collection. The second option is a PC-based software package. It's worth pointing out that these programs have come a long way in the 20 years since I first started, and they really are quite impressive. You can build your family tree, store documents, attach photos, add scanned certificates, and link everything directly to individual family members. In my view, this makes it much easier to stay organised as your research blossoms and you gather more and more documents and downloads. One major advantage is that your data stays on your own computer. If you don't like the idea of your family information being stored in the cloud, or more accurately, a data centre somewhere, possibly in Slough, then this option can feel more secure and more private. Popular examples of PC-based software include Family Tree Maker and Roots Magic, but there are others available too, so it's worth doing an online search and seeing what's out there. Many of these software packages also integrate with major genealogy websites such as Ancestry, Find My Past or The Genealogist. That means you can sync your family tree between the software and the website. However, it's important to understand what this integration actually gives you. In many cases, the software will provide hints, suggesting that they may hold a record relevant to your ancestor. But to view the actual record, you usually need a subscription. Most of these software packages offer similar core features, and they'll cover everything the average family historian needs. The main differences tend to be the initial cost, the cost of future upgrades, which online platform they integrate with, and what extra features they offer, such as mobile access, multi-language support, or even DNA matching tools. So if these are important to you, you'll need to check the details. Many providers offer free trials, so if you're worth considering this option, it's worth testing a couple before committing. In my experience, if you plan to go beyond the basics of family research, you'll probably need access to one of the online platforms. This will involve you paying for a subscription, so keep that in mind when choosing your PC package. The third option is a web-based family history platform. Examples include Ancestry, Find My Past, The Genealogist, and MyHeritage. In terms of what they do, they are very similar to PC-based solutions, but the main difference is that you can also access the records included in your subscription directly on the platform. The websites have access to enormous online databases that can contain millions of historical records, and they make it relatively easy to search and find documents connected to your ancestors. They all hold the basics such as birth, marriage and death, and census records, but they differ in the specialist collections that they hold. Some will be better than others with military records, with access to newspapers, or overseas collections, and so on. Check what they offer before you sign up, and remember you can always upgrade your subscription. Another key benefit is that your work is automatically backed up. So if your computer crashes or your hard drive fails, your tree and all the evidence documents you've added are still there. These websites make it easy to connect with other researchers and family members, share information and potentially discover relatives you didn't even know existed. Speaking from experience, I know how valuable this is, as I was able to reconnect with my immediate cousins following a gap of 40 years after my mother died. Subscriptions are usually paid monthly, quarterly or annually, depending on the company. They sometimes offer special deals, so it's worth keeping an eye out. Now, in terms of downsides, the main issue for some people is privacy. Your data is stored online, so you may want to think carefully about what personal information you include, particularly about living relatives. That said, most platforms allow you to keep your tree private if you prefer, although by doing so, you will lose some of the benefits of collaborating with other people who are researching the same family members as you. Another point to consider is what happens if your subscription lapses. I can speak from experience here, as there has been the odd occasion when life stuff has got in the way and I've let my subscription to Ancestry lapse. The good news is that my research wasn't lost. When I restarted my subscription, everything was still there exactly as I left it. Some platforms also allow you to nominate someone to access your account when you're gone. Ancestry offers this option, and I suspect other platforms do as well, although you should double check. Don't forget to tell your nominee about it though. Most of these platforms offer free trials, and I strongly recommend using them. Try a few and see which one feels most natural for you to work with. One more option worth mentioning is Family Search. This is a free web-based platform run by the Mormon Church. It's completely free to use. You can build your family tree and access all their records, and as such it can be a great starting point. However, it doesn't offer the same range of collections as the major subscription platforms, so many researchers, me included, use it alongside other services. Now that you've watched this video, you should understand the essentials of each of the 3 options available, and you can now make a more informed decision. So now I'll bring this video to an end with my top 3 tips. Tip number 1, no matter which system you choose, Get organised early and create a strong and consistent document naming system before things get out of control. Number 2, if you're choosing a PC-based package or a web-based platform, always take advantage of free trials. And tip number 3, when it comes to subscriptions, only pay for what you actually need. You can always upgrade later. In my next video, I'll move on to tell you how you can start building the foundations of your family tree by getting hold of and understanding the vital birth, marriage and death certificates. Once you've got hold of these, with a bit of luck, you'll be able to create a standard family tree showing 4, possibly even 5 generations. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe so you'll know when the next video is released. If you have any comments, including suggestions for topics you'd like me to cover, please leave them below. I hope to see you next time.